Thank you very much, Madam President and members. I rise today with joy in my heart on behalf of the California LGBTQ Caucus to present SR 92, which recognizes June as LGBT Pride Month. As you all know, the galvanizing force of the Stonewall riots in June 28, 1969 ignited a liberation movement and a call to action that continues to inspire us to fulfill our dreams of equality and inclusion today. This has been a long journey, and it is always interesting to me when things heat up politically anywhere. You can always see who kind of has the lowest value are the ones who get attacked. So this year in the United States of America, over 300 pieces of legislation have been introduced into legislatures across this country, anti-LGBTQ. And I can tell you on my own social media, all I'm hearing about is the bad drag queens, the bad pedophilias. I mean, it's predictable when something big is happening in our country. Everybody else tries to pile on to those with the least power as they see it. I'm a big lover of historical fiction, and I read a lot about World War II and our Jewish brothers and sisters and how Hitler was able to do what he did because we're able to blame somebody else and point to somebody else versus being able to be inclusive. And as the prayer I said today, like, how do we raise our voices in unity together? You know, my staff always ask me every year when I do this, does it hurt your feelings that your colleagues across the aisle never vote for it? And I say, it does. It does hurt my feelings. And it hurts my feelings for their constituents too, because they have just as many as I do. If you're not Senator Wiener, the rest of us have a smattering of the LGBT community across our districts, and they all look to us as leaders to protect them, to have their back, to celebrate them, to tell them they're okay. In this last couple weeks, members, we saw 31 members of a white patriot group go to a pride event in Idaho, all dressed alike in little outfits, to cause a riot. We all saw that on TV, and I can tell you on Pride Month, it puts a little fear in all of us to think about going to a Pride event, like what could happen. Because clearly, members, hate is on the rise. We saw just a couple weeks ago in San Leandro, Proud Boys stormed a library during a drag queen reading hours. The children had a huddle in a safe space because the Proud Boys came in to disrupt them because they were so offended that a drag queen was reading to children. Anyone wants to come and look later, I have a picture, one of my favorite pictures of my daughter. She's about 5, and she's standing with the drag queen, and she walks up to him and she says, "Bro, you're so pretty." Kids aren't confused by this, members. Kids are not confused. Kids celebrate diversity. Kids don't know hate until we teach it to them. Our colleague here in this chamber, and because he's so tall, maybe that's why he's a target, or that he stands so bravely, had death threats, bomb threats at his house and his home for being who he is. We need to stand against this. And I ask all of my colleagues, as we stand for inclusion and acceptance and love, and don't tell me I have to get back into a closet because it makes other people feel uncomfortable. Because if you're telling me that, you're telling me that awkward 12-year-old who's in somebody's district, that same thing. Like hide with a nod and a wink, will say you're okay, but we don't ever want to celebrate you. Until we can celebrate all of us, until we can raise our voices together, we never achieve justice and liberty for all.